lights were on. The door was wide. Nothing stopped me from stepping inside. Everything was ready. No price, no change, no fight. A smile that came too quickly. A yes without a why. No fear behind the offer. No weight behind the touch. It felt like winning something that didn't cost enough. I waited for the spark to rise, for something deep to wake. But all I felt was silence in the choices I could take. Easy is empty. It slips through my hands. Nothing that's given without meaning ever lets me stand. Easy is empty. No fire, no scar. If it doesn't leave a mark inside, it won't take me far. It won't take me far. I've seen men call it freedom. I've seen them call it fate. One night dressed as heaven turns heavy when you wake. They chase the sound of pleasure like it's proof they still exist. But I felt more alive in loss than in moments like this. No hunger in the moment, no danger in the fall. When nothing's on the line, you gain nothing at all. Easy is empty. It fades when you breathe. Nothing that comes without resistance ever makes you believe. Easy is empty. No blood, no flame. If it doesn't test your backbone, it won't remember your I don't need a win that feels like sleep. I don't need a touch that cuts too cheap. Give me something that shakes me. Give me something that stays. Not a borrowed high that decays by daybreak. Easy is empty. I've seen it before. I won't bow to comfort that leaves me wanting more. It leaves me wanting. Easy is empty. I stand and decline. If Some nights are losses that save your days. With no war left to fight, then truth appeared and split the light. Desire rose like scripture, written deep in flesh and bone, but wisdom stood asking who I'd become. I've learned the mind is burning long before the body moves. Every action casts a shadow, every shadow asks for proof. I saw the chain before the fall, saw the cost behind the thrill. Freedom isn't doing everything, it's knowing when to steal. When morality cuts the fire, desire loses form. The flame collapses inward. When the mind is clear and warm, when morality cuts the fire, the hunger meets its end. I don't conquer flesh with violence, I release it and transcend. Pleasure promises nirvana, but it trades in borrowed time. What it gives you in a heartbeat, it will charge you in your spine. I've watched men worship moments till their center turns to dust. They there's nothing left to prove. No victory over another, just the power to remove. When morality cuts the fire, I stand beyond the flame. No craving owns my actions, no pleasure writes my name. The fire went quiet, the night stayed wide. I didn't lose desire, I placed it aside. I've been alone in crowded rooms, heard every promise fall apart. I've touched the edge of easy nights, but none of them moved my heart. I've seen desire dressed in gold, calling my name like I'm for sale. But I don't trade my breath and bones for a moment bound to fail. I don't fear the dark or skin, I just know 'cause peace is louder than the rush you bring. I don't judge how you survive or the road you had to take. I just know the life I'm living and the choices that I make. Only love opens the door. I stand by what I feel. I don't need a stolen night to prove that I'm real. Only love opens the door. Say what you wanna say. If it doesn't come with meaning, I'm strong enough to walk away. The door stayed closed. The night moved on. I didn't lose a moment. I kept myself intact and strong. I've seen men drown in memories, calling it love, calling it fate. I watched the shadows rot in bars while I chose not to break. Deny the fire inside, I just don't kneel when it burns. I've learned the cost of losing myself for a lesson I never earned. This isn't cold, this isn't fear, this is knowing I'm still here. Stand above the poison, no chains, no plea. Love can walk beside me, but it won't own me. I don't need to break to feel, I don't need to bleed to stay. I am not afraid of love, I'm just not dying that way. Some drown in what they call love, some rise and keep their name. I didn't lose my heart tonight, I walked away the told me I was nothing yet, just standing in the shade, waiting for permission to be more than what they said. I walked with doubt on my shoulders, wore silence like a crime. Every voice around me shouting, your time is not your time. I try to fit their mirrors, try to earn their light, but every step I borrowed pulled me further from my fight. I wasn't broken, I wasn't weak, I was just buried under what they needed me to be. I was never empty, choose to remain. I don't chase validation. I walk through the flame. Myself right. Let myself rise. The crown, no one wants the scar. They pray for lightning, but run from who they are. They want the fire without the burn, the victory without the years. They want the roar of the battlefield, but none of the blood or fear. There they ask me how long it takes. I tell silence called it care. But every word you fed my mouth was cutting off my air. You didn't break me with your hands, you used advice and shame. Wrapped your fear in holy words and called control my name. You said I'd fail without your path, that I was lost alone. But every step I took for you turned my spine into bone. I listened long enough to hear the lie inside your truth. I don't need your permission to become what I choose. I owe you nothing, not my fear, not my pain. I won't live as your reflection or bleed to keep you sane. I owe you nothing, not my soul, not my breath. I cut the cord you call love and chose my life instead. I've seen kings made out of weakness, thrones built from borrowed doubt. They stay alive by keeping others too afraid to walk out. You fed on my obedience, called it loyalty, but I don't confuse submission with integrity. I don't need a master, I don't need a guide. If your truth can't survive my questions, it deserves to die. I owe you nothing. Hear it clear, hear it slow. I won't shrink my evolution so No fire I need to prove. The night keeps calling louder, but I don't move. I've seen the doors wide open. I've seen the bodies fall. Promises whispered easy that never meant a thing at all. I've walked through crowded shadows where desire screams my name, but hunger never owned me, and I don't play that game. I don't need your eyes to crown me king. I don't need your skin to feel alive. There's a silence in my chest that says, stand your ground, survive. I'm not hungry, I don't chase the flame, I don't touch what leaves me hollow, I don't feed on empty names. I'm not desperate, I don't beg or plead. What I open my hands for is the truth my soul can bleed. Easy nights are overrated, easy wins decay in time. I've watched men drown in moments just to feel they crossed the line. You call it power, call it freedom, call it youth, call it fun. I call it losing pieces of a war that's never won. I don't need a body to feel whole, I don't need a touch to justify a buried ghost that begged me once, give it or die. I'm not hungry, I don't chase the flame, I don't touch what leaves me hollow, I don't feed on empty names. I'm not desperate, I don't beg or plead. What I open my hands for is the truth my soul can bleed. I've learned the cost of just tonight. I've paid in years, not thrills. Some doors are closed by weakness, some by iron will.